The next morning came too fast. Zariah sat on the edge of a sleek leather couch in Junjie's private compound, somewhere hidden in the outskirts of Shanghai, high walls and armed security forming a quiet cocoon around them. The air still smelled faintly of smoke and blood. Her sister was asleep in the guest room, guarded by two of Junjie's men. Her mother had been flown to a private hospital under an alias, recovering from trauma and dehydration. Zariah's entire body ached. But she couldn't stop replaying 2 nights ago. The alley, the fight, the scream, Junjie carrying her mother, the kiss, the bed, the way she had touched his face afterward and seen the man beneath the control. The man who bled for her. Her hands trembled around the cup of tea in her grip. Across the room, Junjie stood by the floor-to-ceiling windows, shirtless, a bandage wrapped around his shoulder. He was on a call, speaking Mandarin in clipped tones. Business. Strategy. Control. But every so often, he glanced at her. And every time, her heart skipped. He ended the call and turned toward her. "She'll be safe," he said. "I'm increasing surveillance around the hospital. I moved your sister here because I trust this house. And these men." Zariah nodded slowly. "Thank you." Junjie sat across from her, elbows on his knees. "I should have told you sooner. About the threat. About what they were planning. You kept her safe," Zariah said quietly. "That's what matters." A long silence passed between them. Then, "You shouldn't have to live like this." She looked up. "Like what?" "Watching over your shoulder. Wondering when the next message will come. You've already lost too much." Zariah bit her lip. "I lost everything the moment Jian cheated on me. My trust. My plans. My future." "You didn't lose your future," Junjie said. "You just need help rebuilding it." Her chest tightened. He leaned forward. "I meant what I said when we married. This wasn't just a contract to me. It was a line drawn in the sand." She swallowed. "Even if it started as revenge?" "Especially because it started as revenge." His eyes burned. "You deserved better. And now, you're going to get it." Hours later, Zariah was in the shower when she heard Junjie's voice rising through the walls. Something in his tone made her freeze. She wrapped herself in a towel and stepped out just as he was hanging up. "What happened?" Junjie didn't meet her eyes. "They tried to contact your sister's friend in Ghana. The one she stays with." Zariah felt the blood drain from her face. "She wasn't harmed," he added quickly. "But the message was clear. They're watching everyone connected to you. Anyone who might be used to manipulate you." "Why?" she whispered. "Because now they know what you mean to me," Junjie said simply. "And people like that. They strike where it hurts." Later that evening, Junjie called her into his study, a rich wood-paneled space with a low glass desk and a massive screen mounted on the wall. He gestured for her to sit. "You always said you wanted to go back to school. To finish your degree." Zariah blinked. "Yeah, but I haven't even registered." "You don't need to," he said, tapping a button on the tablet in front of him. "You're enrolled in the fall semester at the best business school in the city. You'll have full security, housing options, and access to any resource you need." Her mouth opened, and no sound came out. Junjie continued, voice even, but his eyes softer than she'd ever seen them. "You don't owe me anything. This isn't about control. It's about restoring everything that was taken from you. Zariah's heart twisted. No one had ever protected her like this. That night, as they were preparing for bed, Junjie's phone buzzed. He looked down and stilled. "What is it?" Zariah asked. He turned the screen toward her. It was a photo of her, taken that afternoon, while she stood at the balcony, drinking coffee. Below it, a message. "She doesn't belong to you. LJ." Zariah felt sick. "They're watching us," she whispered. "They were," Junjie said, already typing commands. "Not anymore." His voice had gone cold. Steel hard. Deadly. Within seconds, he had summoned his head of security. By the time Zariah sat down again, 3 men were being dispatched to sweep the entire perimeter and to track Li Junjie. The next day, Junjie insisted they attend a charity gala. "You need to be seen," he said. "They need to know you're not hiding. And I need the business world to understand one thing. You are under my protection." Zariah stepped out in a custom silk gown, black, with gold threading and a slit that showed off confidence she didn't think she had left. Junjie, in a sleek tuxedo, offered her his arm. "Ready?" She nodded. "Let's remind them who they're dealing with." The cameras flashed as they arrived. Junjie didn't let go of her once. At the gala, Zariah spotted Mei Lin. Alone. In a back corridor, champagne in hand, face painted with false sweetness. "So this is the new you," Mei Lin said, glancing down at Zariah's dress. "Well done. You finally look expensive." Zariah smiled coldly. "Funny. You still look cheap." Mei Lin's smile faded. "I don't need Jen," Zariah said softly. "I don't need your betrayal. I have better." Then she walked away, head high. That night, back in their private suite, Zariah stood at the window while Junjie poured her wine. He watched her in the dim light. "You were brilliant tonight," he said. "I wasn't scared," she whispered. "You're allowed to be." "I wasn't," she said again. "Because I knew you had me." He walked over, cupped her chin gently. "I always will." Over the next few days, Junjie laid out a plan. He was opening an account in her name, funding her education, assigning a legal team to help her sue Jen for defamation and breach of emotional trust. And he had purchased the publishing rights to a gossip magazine Mei Lin was planning to use to ruin Zariah's name. Now, the story would never see daylight. "You're not just surviving anymore," Junjie said one morning. "You're reclaiming your future." A week later, Zariah opened a small velvet box Junjie left on her nightstand. Inside, a pen. Gold-plated. Elegant. Her name engraved on the side. A note beneath it. "Write your next chapter. I'll buy the paper. J." Her sister began smiling again. She started painting, laughing, eating. Zariah watched her bloom again, and every time, her heart grew lighter. "You saved us," she told Junjie one night. He shook his head. "You did. I just gave you the space." One night, they returned home to find a white envelope on the doorstep. Inside, a flash drive. Zariah plugged it into her laptop and found a video. It was Li Junjie, speaking directly into the camera. "I'll give you one chance," he said. "Walk away from him. Or I start dragging skeletons out of closets. His, yours, and your family's." Zariah walked into Junjie's study that night, held up the flash drive, and said, "I'm not afraid of him." Junjie stood. "Then we fight back." "No," she said. "Then we finish this." Their eyes met. And this time, it wasn't just about revenge. It was about freedom. Junjie's Rolls-Royce pulled up outside a towering glass building that shimmered in the morning light. Zariah frowned. "Where are we?" He said nothing, only led her into a private elevator with a fingerprint scanner. When the doors opened, they stepped into an expansive penthouse suite. The view stretched endlessly across the skyline of Shanghai. "This is yours," he said simply. "A place that's just yours. Your name is on the deed." Zariah blinked. "Why would you do this?" "Because power isn't just protection," he replied. "It's freedom. And you need both." She touched the marble counter with reverence. For the first time, something in her chest cracked open. Hope. Later that evening, a folder appeared on her nightstand. Inside was her university application, completed, signed, and accompanied by a scholarship letter and private tutoring arrangements. Everything she told Junjie in passing, her dream to finish school, to stand on her own, he had remembered. Zariah found him in the study. "You did all this?" He didn't look up from his laptop. "You don't need to put your future on hold for anyone else's mistakes." Tears burned her eyes, but she swallowed them. "Thank you." He finally looked at her, expression unreadable. "Don't thank me. Just become the kind of woman they'll never recover from." Zariah stepped into her old room to grab a few things. She found a photo, her and Jen, back when she believed in his lies. She crushed it in her hand. Junjie's voice came from the door. "You don't need to erase the past. Just don't let it chain you." She turned to him. "Do you really think I can do this?" "I wouldn't have married you if I didn't." That night, Junjie returned home to find her waiting in the penthouse, wearing a red silk robe he hadn't bought. She was on the balcony, glass of wine in hand, the city glowing behind her. "You look dangerous," he said, loosening his tie. She didn't smile. "I need to be." He stepped closer. "You already are." Their kiss wasn't soft. It was full of history and fire and everything they hadn't said. When they pulled apart, she whispered, "I'm not falling in love with you." His smirk was slow, amused. "Good. That makes two of us." But neither of them moved away. The next morning, her phone buzzed with a headline. Lu Jian and Mei Lin Chen spotted ring shopping in Hong Kong. Zariah stared, numb, until rage unfurled like a storm inside her. So that was their next move. Publicity, spectacle, control. But when she looked up, Junjie was already making a call. "I want our legal team to release the marriage certificate. Let the world know she's mine. And make sure her ex sees it everywhere he turns." She blinked. "You'd do that for me?" He didn't look up. "No, Zariah. I'd do that with you."